Tonight, we're journeying to the heart of a chilling legend, the one whispered about in the shadow of Elmwood Cathedral. They say that every night, at the stroke of midnight, one of its stone guardians vanishes from the roof, only to reappear somewhere else in the city, its cold, stone eyes watching. This is the tale of the gargoyle that watches Elmwood Cathedral. For generations, the imposing structure of Elmwood Cathedral has dominated the city's skyline. Its Gothic spires and weathered stone walls are adorned with dozens of gargoyles, each one a masterpiece of monstrous art. But one particular gargoyle has become the subject of local fear and fascination for as long as anyone can remember. Strange reports have trickled out from the community. The stories were always the same. The gargoyle was never where it was supposed to be. A student pulling an all-nighter would catch a glimpse of a stony silhouette on the library roof, only to have it gone a moment later. People tried to capture proof. They'd aim their cameras, trying to snap a photo of the misplaced monster. But every single time, the result was a failure. The images came back blurry. It was as if the creature itself refused to be documented, as if it possessed some unseen power. This only fueled the legend, turning it from a local quirk into a genuine mystery. The stories became so persistent that the cathedral's administration had to address them. They dismissed the claims as urban folklore. But the whispers continued, and a sense of unease began to settle over the city, especially for those who worked late or lived in the cathedral's long shadow. This is where our story truly begins, with a man determined to find a rational explanation. His name was Alex, a young, pragmatic security guard who had recently taken the night shift at the cathedral. Alex wasn't a believer in ghosts or moving statues. To him, the stories were just a legend. If a massive stone gargoyle was being moved around, it was a simple, albeit impressive, act of vandalism. He was convinced a group of clever troublemakers was using cranes or ropes to pull off the ultimate prank. And he was going to be the one to catch them in the act. One moonless night, Alex decided to put his theory to the test. He told his supervisor he was staying late to conduct a security audit. After the last of the cathedral, staff had left and the heavy oak doors were bolted shut. He was alone. The vast echoing silence of the ancient building was his only companion. He set up a small station for himself in a discreet alcove with a clear view of the gargoyle-designated spot on the roof, visible through a high-arched window. He had a thermos of coffee, a high-powered flashlight, and his phone, ready to record. He was ready to expose the truth. The hours ticked by slowly. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. The cathedral was still, filled only with the scent of old stone and polished wood. Alex checked his watch, feeling a little foolish. Maybe nothing would happen tonight. Maybe it was all just a legend. He was about to pack it in when, around 11:58 p.m., the atmosphere inside the cathedral began to change. A sudden, inexplicable drop in temperature made him shiver and pull his jacket tighter. The air grew heavy, thick with a palpable tension. Then a fine layer of dust rained down from the vaulted ceiling, catching the faint moonlight like sinister glitter. The entire building seemed to exhale a low, groaning sound echoing through the nave, the sound of ancient timbers and stone shifting under an immense unseen pressure. Alex's heart began to pound. This wasn't pranksters. This felt wrong. He glanced at his watch. The second hand swept towards the 12. At exactly midnight, it happened. The spot on the roof where the gargoyle had sat for centuries became empty. It didn't fall. It didn't crumble. It simply vanished. A cold dread washed over Alex. His rational mind scrambled for an explanation, but found none. And then he heard it. A sound that would haunt him for the rest of his short life. A heavy, scraping sound. The sound of stone dragging against stone. It was echoing from the far end of the main hall. It was the sound of footsteps. Heavy, deliberate, impossible footsteps. Panic seized him. He ducked deeper into the shadows of his alcove, his breath catching in his throat. Alex fumbled for his flashlight. The footsteps grew louder, closer. Scrape, drag, scrape. Each step giving a slow, rhythmic march. His hands shaking too much to get a good grip. Suddenly, he turned it on. He just held it, his knuckles white. The thing that was walking was now in the main chamber. Alex peered from his hiding spot and saw it. It stood in the center of the nave, its massive form silhouetted by the moonlight filtering through the stained glass windows. Its cracked stone skin seemed to drink the darkness, and its wings were tensed, as if ready for flight. It stood motionless for a moment, its head slowly scanning the empty hall. Alex held his breath, praying it wouldn't see him. But he had forgotten one crucial detail. A creature like that wouldn't just rely on sight. Suddenly, the gargoyle's head snapped in his direction. It hadn't seen him. It had smelled him. The scent of living fear, it turned its jagged stone head, and 2 points of light ignited within its deep-set eye sockets. They weren't reflections. They were embers, glowing with a malevolent internal fire. The creature took a step towards his hiding place, the sound of grinding rock filling the silence. This was it. It was going to tear him apart. Alex was paralyzed with terror. But it didn't attack. Instead, it stopped a few feet away, its glowing eyes fixed on him. It slowly lifted a massive, clawed hand. The movement was surprisingly fluid for something made of stone. With one sharp talon, it began to trace intricate, glowing symbols in the air before it. As it drew, the very walls of the cathedral began to change. The solid stone became translucent, shimmering like a heat haze. And within the walls, Alex saw them. Ghostly figures, hundreds of them, writhing in silent agony. Men, women, children, their faces twisted in eternal horror. They were trapped, their spirits imprisoned within the very foundation of the holy building. Alex realized with sickening clarity what he was seeing. These were the gargoyles' victims. People who, like him, had looked too closely, who had discovered the cathedral's dark secret. There were the people that the gargoyle had hunted and silenced over the centuries. The gargoyle wasn't a guardian in the way people thought. It didn't ward off evil spirits. It was the evil spirit. A jailer, a predator whose duty was to protect the prison of souls it had created. That horrifying realization shattered Alex's paralysis. He screamed and scrambled out of his hiding spot, turning to run for the main doors. But in the blink of an eye, the creature was no longer across the hall. It was right beside him. He hadn't even seen it move. One moment it was there, the next it was here, its immense stone body blocking his escape. He could feel the chilling cold radiating from its stone skin. He looked up into its burning eyes, and a voice echoed, not in the hall, but directly inside his mind. It was a deep, grinding voice, like continents shifting, ancient and devoid of any emotion. It whispered a single, terrifying sentence. "My duty is to watch, and to silence those who look too closely." The next morning, the cathedral staff arrived to find the heavy doors unbolted. Inside, there was no sign of a break-in, no sign of Alex. The only thing they found was his broken flashlight lying on the cold stone floor of the nave. A search was conducted, but Alex's body was never recovered. He had simply vanished. And high above, on the roof of the Elmwood Cathedral, the gargoyle sat in its usual place, its stone face staring out over the city. To the unknowing eye, it was just a statue, motionless and ancient. But for those who know the legend, its silent vigil holds a terrifying new meaning. It continues its duty, watching and waiting for the next person who dares to look too closely. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment or follow for more folklore legends.